Okay. You want to fly the plane a little?
Try it.
Okay, so there's your yoke. What we're going to do is we're just going to go through some basic controls. I'm going to let you know when you have the plane. I'll say, you have the plane, and you confirm, I have the plane. If at any time I say, I have the plane, you stop what you're doing, I have the plane. I always tell people that it's way better teaching somebody to fly than it is to drive a car. Because when you teach someone to drive a car, you're passively over there with no brakes, no steering wheel, nothing. I have everything over here. And as much as I love you, I love me more, so I'm not going to let you... And the good thing is there's nothing to hit up here, okay?
Yeah.
So what we can do here is we're going to come up here to 4,000 feet. We're going to level off at about 4,000 feet. I'm going to get your throttle and everything trimmed for you here.
Good.
And then I'll get this spun out so we're all happy here. Okay, so what you want to do is, if you can find something on the horizon, like a lake. See the lake way down there, the furthest lake? So that's going to be your target, okay? So go ahead and put your hands on the yoke, and we're going to, in just a second, we're going to go wings level. Okay, so it doesn't take much to do. So our goal here is not to gain altitude or lose altitude. You can periodically look over here, but your best reference is this. You don't need any of this to fly the plane, because this is what's called your sight picture, right? So if your horizon is getting bigger, clearly your nose is going down. If it's getting shallower, clearly you're going up. So if you keep your sight picture the same, it's all going to make sense, right? So just try, just, go towards there. You can, do some gentle turns, and you get an idea of how easy it is. It responds quite easily. And we're not even going to worry about rudders or anything down there. We don't need them in this plane. Now try going to that lake over there. Fly over the top of that lake. And again, you can't hurt us, so don't worry about it. Cool. Thank you, traffic. Sky High 75 in Quebec, maneuvering 4 miles west of the field, 4,000, Lakeview. So we have a airport right over here at Lakeview.
8833 Alpha, 10 to the north, planning runway 09, Alma.
So just let everybody know that we're here. Okay, so find something over there and steer toward it over there.
Alpha traffic, forward turn to road right hand.
Right towards that lake over there. In front of us.
Find anything you want. Go anywhere you want. Once we get past the airport down here, we'll practice some turns and stuff. Look at all the leaf burning down there. Wow. So you see there's an airport right down there just north of that lake. That's Lakeview, Michigan. So it responds pretty easily, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Try doing a little, back and forth as you go towards that lake.
I'll go right first and then left.
Yep. Knocking it out of the park. Sweet.
Really, you don't need rudder for this thing. It's
No, not for this plane. No, this is,
the ailerons.
Yeah, this plane just flies nice and true, and they basically haven't changed the design in 50 years. They nailed it. Yeah, they nailed it.
You can head over towards that one.
You're going to be going into the sun that way, so let's go over that way. Let's go to those two lakes.
Makes sense.
Hey. I'll send these to you. And also catch you on video here, flying the plane. I'll send you a link afterwards. So we'll go a couple more miles here, and then we'll have you try and do a 360.
Okay.
So when you're taking your flight test, the whole goal is to bust your altitude. So you're going to say, find an altitude that you like, 4,000, 4,500, whatever. And then we're going to try and do what's called a standard rate turn, which means it takes us 2 minutes to go 360 degrees. And you want to try and be plus or minus 100 feet of your altitude. Don't worry about that. What happens is that, I think you're probably going to do much better because you're used to flying planes. But sometimes people, depends whether you're turning left or whether you're turning right. If you turn in left, you're on the high side, you tend to lose altitude. If you turn right, you tend to gain altitude because you're not sitting in the center of the plane, right? You have this parallax.
Yeah.
So once we go down to the lakes, we'll do some maneuvering because we're still pretty close to Lakeview here.
Gained a little bit of altitude, haven't we?
Yep, about 4,300 feet.
Once in a while, I gently pulled back on the yoke.
Yep.
So, as I was turning, it's just like, feeling is like you're losing a little bit of altitude, so.
Yeah, you get to the point where, you can, as we, like jet pilots say, you're not getting into the plane, you're strapping the plane on. It becomes an extension of your body.
Right.
And when you've flown the same type of aircraft for a while, like my wife's this point, I don't let her look at the RPM. I say, tell me what the engine's telling you. I'm too fast, I'm too slow. Exactly. Tell me about, what the gas is telling you, so you get to the point where you learn it. So.
Right.
So, see that road going north and south? This one right down here?
Yeah.
Go ahead and that's only not, forget it, only goes for a couple miles. We'll find one that you will start on north and south. You'll do a 360 and you can come back and finish on it. We're up here in Booneyville, so it's kind of hard to find one. Or we can also find an east and west one if you want. I'll tell you what, we'll just use these lakes, okay?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You want to turn right or do you want to turn left?
Start with turning left.
Okay, that way you're not going to the sun. I'm going to tell you when you have the correct angle and then just hold it, okay? Go ahead and begin your turn. We're going to stay at about 4,200 feet. Right there. That's your angle. So this is called a standard rate turn, which means that it's going to take us 2 minutes to finish this turn, okay? And this is how you do it if you're flying instruments or you have people in the plane.
Okay.
This is considered a comfortable angle for people in the plane. We've shown that if you're flying instruments in the clouds, you're less likely to get disoriented, with this type of turn rate. If we're coming into an airport or something, we can go far more than this, but this is what's called a standard rate turn. And you're doing great, so you're at 4,100 feet, so that's good. There's Lakeview, so we're heading due north up that way to UP right now. So you'll be turning west, you can get blinded here in a minute.
Yep.
So we have a plane 4 miles north, 2,300 feet underneath us. They're taking off from Lakeview, so let me call and tell them where we are. Lakeview traffic, Skyhawk 5 in Quebec, 5 miles south, maneuvering, 4,000 feet, Lakeview. You're about halfway through the turn now, a little more than halfway. You're nailing this, you're right at 4,000 feet. Yeah, so you just keep, like this little piece of pie you can see here, as long as you keep the wedge the same shape. You don't have, because now you can't read the gauges anyway. And your butt also kind of tells you, you can tell if you're going up or down. So you would be passing your flight test in this one. There's your 2 lakes up there. So what we're going to do is about 10 degrees before we get there, and I'll tell you when, you're going to start to go wings level. So when you finish your turn, you'll be wings level. Okay, so go ahead and start to roll your wings out to wings level. Nailed it. I knew you would. You would have passed the flight test. So you're plus or minus 100 feet, and you nailed it. Okay, I have the plane for a second. So,
that was really fun.
So you
really
can tell me, but go ahead and close your eyes, and you tell me which way I'm turning, just by the seat of your pants.
Okay. Turning to the left.
Yep.
Now you evened out and turning to the right.
They're going up or down?
I felt like you were going down.
Yeah, look out the window. So it went up, okay?
Oh, you went up.
Yeah, okay. Now, keep your eyes open. We're going to go down.
Yeah.
Okay. Versus, you can even hear a change in the engine when we go up.
Oh.
Okay. So, how you feeling, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of a turn here. I'm going to go to the right this time. And you were previously at a 15-degree turn. So we're going to go 30 now. If you look out the window there, you can see that we're a little steeper angle than you were before.
You bet. A faster turn.
Yeah. And when we get away from the sun, I'm going to give you 1G for a second. And you'll feel 1G because your butt's going to plant in the seat. And again, kind of like, you feel what the plane is doing. So now we're not even a half a G right now. You're feeling pretty comfortable in the seat. Feel your butt?
Oh, yeah.
That's a G. Feel your stomach? Yeah, so that's a G. Your stomach's telling you, and your butt's telling you. You're being...
Yeah,
So I've done aerobatics training, and that's one thing, because at 4 Gs, most people pass out. And that's bad when you're flying a plane.
Yeah.
So they have the accelerometers on them, but you're doing maneuvers and you're not. So you're trying to get used to what does your body tell you, when you've had, when you're getting to where you should stop that maneuver. Cool.
Right back to the things.
Okay. So you can go ahead and you have the plane, and you can do whatever turns you want. Eventually, we're going to head down south, do whatever you like. You nailed that turn. That was perfect. If you want to go up, you can go up. If you want to go down, you can go down. If we're going to... Now you're at about double the turn you did before, so you're decreasing altitude and you're increasing speed. So you're at about 130 miles an hour right now. Hear the engine. You'll feel your stomach here. Boom. You just came out of 135 mile an hour, dive there. Want to hear the RPM coming up? Because gravity's in your favor now.
Yep.
So that little bump was our own dirty air that we made. We flew back into our own dirty air. That was that little bump. It's amazing how easily it responds, isn't it? Yeah.
Very smooth. Very nice.
So we're going to, so this says bearing 201. Track is what we're currently going 69 degrees. To get back home, we need to go 201. So to increase these numbers, we want to go clockwise until we get to 201. That'll get us back to our home base.
The bottom number I'm looking at, right?
Yep, So the top number is where you want to get at. Okay. The bottom number is where you are. So the ones that are your track. So if we were measuring across the ground, what's your track across the ground? 156 degrees. The bearing to get you home is 204. So once those numbers match up, you're homeward bound.
Yep. 85.
And then when you get about 10 degrees before, kind of wings level, and you'll probably nail it. So right about now, wings level, there you go.
Overshot a little bit, 208.
Yep. Yeah, well I didn't tell you ahead of time. So about 10 degrees ahead of time is when you start to level out. Otherwise you overshoot it. My bad. It's hard to get a good instructor nowadays. So you have ETA to distance, 4 minutes and 4:55 you'll be there. Flight timer, so distance is 24 miles, 10 minutes en route. Now, if you want, you can fly that way a little bit, and that way when it starts the sun, you can just find a bearing that's comfortable there. That's probably a lot better for you.
Right about there.
Yeah, we can always can't at the last minute.
Yep.
Because you don't want to fly into that nonsense.
I've got it shielded by the pillar.
Runway 7, Sparta.
So that lake over there kind of looks like a dog bone lake. That's Wabas's Lake, the first lake we flew over.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to try with your trim. So this knob, it's a wheel,
Yep.
and it trims your plane, because you've seen in the old military things where they're trying to yoke back or trying to push forward. You don't want to do that. You want it to you want minimal pressure, especially when you're landing. So if you trim forward, go ahead and take your hands off the yoke. What's going to happen? Watch. Think of it as rolling a bowling ball. If you roll a bowling ball forward, the plane's going to want to go down.
Yep.
If you roll it back, it's going to go back. So your goal is to get it trimmed. On a day like today is how you learn how to do trim, because there's nothing moving. You want it so it's flying same altitude, hands off. Okay? So I'm going to take you a little out of trim here. You have the plane. Go ahead and get it to where you can get it flying neutral. This is the hardest thing for new students to learn how to do. One of the harder things. So give the plane a little bit of chance to respond, otherwise you'll just be playing, ski hills. When you think you have it trimmed, look at your altitude, take your hands off, and see if it stays there. Pretty good. It's not, you may like a little forward pressure, a little back pressure, but if you go ahead and take your hands off. And so, we're still gaining altitude. So we're going to trim down a little bit, see if we can stop that. There you go. We have to give the plane a second to respond. That's looking, you can say, yeah, you just about nailed that. Otherwise, you're fighting it the whole time. And when you come into land, man, you want just the smallest control.